You don't need their apology to clear them from your field. You need a ritual that actually works. Last week, we talked about the lie that you can't be free until you forgive, that forgiveness means keeping the door open, that holding a boundary means you haven't healed. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it below because this one builds on it. Today is the practical part. We're not talking about the concept anymore, we're doing the actual work. I'm going to walk you through a full 3-part ritual sequence: severance, clearing, and sealing that you can do in one sitting tonight if you want to. Each part does something different in your body and your field, and doing all 3 together creates something that one dramatic release ceremony alone doesn't. It actually holds. Hi, I'm Melanie, your witchy mother, and we practice practical rituals with 0 performance here. Here's something I've noticed doing this work. Women come to me having done cord cuttings, having done forgiveness ceremony, having written letters and burned them, sometimes multiple times for the same person, and they still feel the pull. They still find themselves thinking about them at 2 a.m. They still feel their chest tighten when something reminds them, and they blame themselves for it. They think they didn't do the ritual right, or they didn't mean it enough, or they're just not healed enough yet. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is that most release rituals address only one layer: the emotional charge, the resentment, the active grief. They don't address what comes after. They don't address the energetic residue that stays in the body even after the big feeling is gone. They don't address the habit of re-renting to that person that keeps the loop alive. That's why this sequence has 3 parts, and each one does a different job. Part 1 is severance, ending the active energetic connection. This is the part that most people do. Part 2 is clearing, moving out what was left behind after the connection ended. This is the part most people skip. Part 3 is sealing, closing the door so you stop unconsciously reopening it. This is the part that almost nobody does. You need all 3. Let me show you how. Before I walk you through the ritual, there's a few things. First, you don't need a lot. For the full sequence, you need a black candle, coarse salt, something to anoint yourself with, olive oil works, any oil works, a small piece of paper and something to burn it in safely, and a glass of water to close. That's it. This is kitchen witchery. It lives in ordinary things. Second, set your intention before you start, not during. Sit for 1 minute before you light anything. Name in your head or out loud who this is for, what you're releasing, and what you want the space to become. You're not asking, you're stating. There's a difference. Third, you may feel nothing, and that's fine. Ritual doesn't require emotional intensity to work. It requires repetition and intention. If you feel a lot, let it move. If you feel nothing, let the actions carry the meaning. Both are valid. Step 1 is severance, so you light the black candle. And then you write the person's name, or if naming them feels like too much right now, write what you're releasing. The pattern, the hope, the grief, whatever has the weight. And then hold the paper and say this: I carried this, and I no longer need to. That's the whole incantation. Short is powerful. Your nervous system doesn't need poetry, it needs clarity. And then burn the paper. Watch it go. Don't rush this part. Let the flame do its work and let your eyes stay with it. Something in the body responds to watching things actually burn. It makes the ending real in a way that journaling doesn't. When it's ash, say, and so it is. Leave the black candle burning while you move to the next step. Don't snuff it out yet. Step 2 is the clearing. This is the part that a lot of people skip, and it's the reason that release rituals don't hold. When a connection ends, it leaves a residue. Think about what happens when you move furniture that's been in the same spot for years. There's a mark on the floor, a shadow of where it was. Your field is the same. You've ended the active connection. Now you're cleaning what's left. So take your salt and rub some on your hands. And starting at your head, slowly run your salted hands down your body, your arms, your torso, your legs, like you're brushing something off, because you are. Do this 3 times. Salt draws out and neutralizes. It's been used this way for centuries across almost every magical and religious tradition. You're not inventing anything new. You're remembering something old. And as you do it, say, what was left behind is released now too. Then wash your hands under cold running water, not warm, cold. Cold water contracts, closes, and clarifies. Let the water take what the salt pulled out. Step 3 is sealing. This is where most people would stop, light some Palo Santo, and call it a ceremony. But we have one more step, and this one is what makes the difference between a ritual that holds and one you'll have to repeat in 6 weeks. Sealing is closing the door that you just cleaned. Take your oil and anoint your sternum, your forehead, and the back of your neck. These 3 points correspond to your heart center, your third eye, and the base of your skull, 3 places we often carry other people's energy without realizing it. As you anoint each point, say, this field belongs to me, I decide what enters. And then take your glass of water, hold it in both hands for a moment, and say, I receive only what serves my sovereignty. And then drink it slowly. Water closes the ritual in the body. You've done the energetic work. The water seals it physically. It gives your body something concrete to metabolize. And then blow out your black candle. I want to be honest with you about what to expect. You may feel lighter immediately. You may feel nothing and then notice something has shifted 2 days later in some ordinary moment. You thought of them and felt nothing. Or you drove past something that used to sting and it didn't. That's not nothing. That's the ritual working quietly. You may also feel the pull to come back, not because the ritual didn't work, but because the nervous system has old grooves. When that happens, you don't need to do the whole sequence again. You just need to say out loud, I've already released this. The door is closed, and then redirect. That's the practice. The ritual did the work once. Now you're just reminding your body what you already decided. Let me know in the comments, have you ever done a release ritual before and felt like it didn't stick? I want to know what happened and whether the clearing and sealing steps were a part of it. There's a reason this work matters beyond the individual person that you're releasing. Every time you complete a clearing, you're not just dealing with one relationship. You're changing the baseline frequency of your field. You're teaching your nervous system a different set of rules, that ended things can actually end, that you don't have to carry what's no longer yours, and that your energy has a container that you control. That baseline shift is what makes everything else possible. New relationships that feel different, money that moves more easily, creative work that doesn't feel blocked by something you can't name. The clarity to know what you actually want. This is Beltane work. You're not just releasing one person. You're making your field fertile for what comes next. The full ritual is here. You have it. Now go do it. If you want 5 more spells in your hands tonight for glamour, money, protection, deconditioning, and receiving, go to the link that's in the description for my free Sinner's Grimoire. And if you've done this kind of work before, the ritual, the journaling, the releasing, and you still feel like something won't move, that's not a problem of discipline. That is a field problem. Something deeper is running, and that's exactly what a clarity session is for. The link for that is also in the description below.